We need to find this place or we'll be late.
Make a left on Astrology Avenue. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant right. It should be right here. 444 Spearway. Oh, turn.
It looks like Renee. Yay, we're on time. The James and Kellee Show.
Great, let's start the show.
Hi,
Doing
James.
that over again. I sound neurotic.
Well, it was still a lot of fun.
That did happen though down Venice Boulevard. It said, turn.
That's exactly right.
We were running late. I remember we were running late. We had to get little did we know what awaited us. How are you doing, Kellee? You love you in your pink outfit.
Thank you. I was in the pink mood today, and I love the blue.
Thank you.
And I love the necklace.
Good friend again. Mine gave me that. Kellee gave me this.
It was, what was it? Blessed by like 200 monks. Yeah.
And it's crystal of healing, right?
Yeah. It's all about the crystal of love, healing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was good for like humanitarian, for doing works for humanity.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kellee. It's very special. I work on special occasions like tonight.
Well, I
Positive
love that.
energy when I hear about everything going on in the world.
Positive energy as we go through everything. and everybody, we will talk about the slap heard around the world. So
Yes, we will, because it has to do with this show tonight.
Unbelievable.
I'm having a glass of wine just because of that.
You do that. You go, honey.
Because I cannot believe that happened.
Oh, I saw it with my own eyes. And Don said, no, that couldn't have happened. It happened.
I actually was going to the store to buy some milk. Seriously. 7-Eleven to get some milk. And a friend of mine texted me or called me and said, do you just know what happened? I said, what? She told me, I was like, what? She goes, I'll send you the video. Her son did a tweet, whatever, and tweeted the thing. And I saw the whole thing. And it was just like.
Okay. I got so caught up in it that I couldn't even text you. And that's unusual. I almost was like, no, I got to watch this over and over. So let's talk about what happened. And let's talk about the next few days. Yeah, we're talking.
I mean, March, the end of March, the beginning of April is a rough time that you talked about last week.
It's a very difficult time, and so today actually is March 28th, 2022, and today Venus conjuncts Saturn, and Venus, the planet of love. When a planet conjuncts another one, it makes both planets very, very large and a lot of energy.
What is conjunct?
Conjunct means next to, real close next to.
Gotcha.
And so it blows both planets up, actually, and Venus is love and love, relationships, and Saturn is karma and it's structure. And so right now, today, yesterday, today, tomorrow, really watch relationships. It's not a day to test your relationship, if you will. It's a more serious day for relationships. I mean, every day for the next several days is going to be a lot more serious and leading into things that are more serious. And then on April 1st, on April Fool's Day, we have
Kellee. What are Venus and Saturn in right now?
It'll be in Aquarius.
Both in Aquarius.
Both in Aquarius. Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're conjunct in Aquarius. Okay.
Yeah. So on April 1st, we have a new moon in Aries, and this is going to be very interesting because it conjuncts, again, next to Chiron, and Chiron is the wounded healer.
Wow.
So Chiron and the new moon will be in Aries. And let me tell you what this means. So when you set your intentions for a new moon, we always set our intentions. The new moon, for this new moon on April 1st, it's because it's conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. You want to look at your emotional wounds. You want to set your intentions to heal your core wound. You really want to go inward and look at your core wound, because this is the perfect time. It's the beginning of healing, and Aries is all about self. And so you really want to work on self. You want to work on.
You said new moon in Aries, right? And Sun is also in Aries.
Yes, so it's going to be very powerful. It's going to be very powerful.
One of the most powerful fire signs there is. Okay.
Yes. And it's funny you said that, because on April 2nd, so this is how this is going. It's like boom, boom, boom. April 2nd, the sun and Mercury conjunct come together in Aries. So this is a lot of Aries action. The sun will and Mercury blow up each other. They are next to each other, and they really highlight fast communications. So we'll be looking at our phone that day going, what just happened? What? It'll be one of those days.
Mercury is all about communication. And in Aries is a sign, the baby of the zodiac. And when I hear Aries, Mercury, and Sun conjunct, ouch! Because there's a lot of, oops, I shouldn't have said that. Oops, if I only said that, I shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have done that. They learn by their mistakes. It's the oops sign. They learn that day, Mercury and Aries, you've got to be very, very careful what you say.
Absolutely. That absolutely is true, because things are going to happen fast.
Not do anything, actually.
Well, I'll tell you the days not to do anything. So then we come into April 4th and 5th. And this is really, it's a very serious time in the world, April 4th and 5th, because it's a destiny point. Now, I'm going to view this now, and I always talk Western astrology and I talk Eastern astrology. The only difference is in Western and Eastern astrology, we have the same aspects, everything is the same, except the planets and the degree are different. So what Eastern astrology is based on going around with the stars, and that the stars move backwards every 72 years. So it's a little more exact for prediction. And so I'm going to start with this. On April 4th and 5th, Mars and Saturn conjunct. And when those two get together, they are enemies. So we're going to think of, maybe we'll just say this, Will Smith as Mars and Chris Rock as Saturn. It's a perfect example of this. I mean, when this happened last night, I said, wow, God really is giving me a great tool to teach people, because this is just an unbelievable experience. So they're enemies, Mars and Saturn. They do not get along, and they're conjunct next to each other. And to tell you how important this is, and I'll tell you everything that they rule, the last time this happened, this is not a common experience. And this is at 28 degrees of Capricorn. 28 degrees is a very serious degree, and Capricorn is very serious. So Mars is actually exalted at 28 degrees in Capricorn. That's how serious this day is. And
Mars means extra energy.
Extra energy, exactly. And Saturn rules Capricorn. So we're talking power and more power. So Capricorn is power structures, karma. Mars is very intense. It's war, it's aggression, it's anger. It rules the blood. It rules our blood. So we want to watch, on a personal note, we want to watch how we don't want to get into any fights. We don't need to be aggressive. We want to really watch and be mindful and conscious of our behavior and how we feel emotionally. This is not a time to pick a fight, because it can lead to heart attacks. So you really want to watch that. Saturn, on the other hand, rules karma. It rules endings. It rules justice. It rules the bones and muscles. So you want to watch driving. You don't want to drive recklessly. You don't want to drive angrily. You really want to watch your movements for those days. It may not be exactly on the 4th and 5th, although those are the days that are very important, critical. Energy could come out, a couple days before, a couple days after. The last time this happened at 28 degrees Capricorn, the very last time, was in 1992. And James, you'll remember this, the LA riots.
Sure. Of course I do. I was in them.
Me too. I was actually working at a food show down the street.
And when they had people literally looting the houses next to apartments I was in next to me with bandanas around.
Wasn't that traumatic?
Knives and guns. And I just got, I was married at the time, and grabbed my wife and my dog, and we went into a car, and she had a knife in one hand, and we went to a friend's house somewhere, I don't know, West LA or somewhere. It was smoke rising out of the Sears building right next to me. It was really
unbelievable. It was brutal. It was unbelievable.
Kellee, this April 4th, April 5th, April 2nd, should say, I don't feel good about President Zelensky.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about that too. So let me just finish this part, and I'm going to go into that. Because in 1962, during this exact conjunction, it was the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh, how interesting.
And the time before that was 1934, and that was the rise of Hitler. So this is a very, very powerful thing. Now, let me say this. Do you remember when we did a prediction show in December, James, and you said something was going to happen to the Queen of England? You felt like she was not going to make it.
Yes.
Well, interesting enough, during this period, her natal Mars, she was born with 28 degrees Capricorn. So that's not a good thing.
Passover.
It could absolutely. Interesting enough, Ukraine's natal moon. So we could do a chart for the countries and all of that. And Ukraine's natal moon is also at 28 degrees Capricorn. So this is a very intense time with Russia and Ukraine. Very intense. So you really want to watch your emotions. You want to watch your emotions. You want to go to nature. You want to take a nice walk. You don't want to be like Will and Chris Rock.
My goodness gracious.
No, you don't want to do that. No. But I thought it was interesting that it happened that way, because when we go into the destiny cards, and I can tell you a little bit about Will Smith and a little bit about Jada and a little bit about Chris Rock, because I thought that was interesting.
Oh, somebody just wrote Vincent list that Martin Luther King was killed April 4th.
Oh my God. April 4th. So again, if I look from the destiny standpoint, April 4th is a 4 of spades, very serious day. Anytime you hear me say spade, that's going to be a serious time, karma.
So spades cards, a lot of karma spade cards.
Oh yeah. Should we get into the destiny cards?
Yeah, I think that's fun. Explain to people what they are, because I didn't know about them until you introduced me to them, and they're pretty incredible. And I mean, really incredible. So yeah.
Thanks, James. They really are incredible. And I'll tell you is the wildest story of how I even got into them, because these really are unless somebody tells you about them, you're not going to know for some reason. But what happened is, as you know, I had a brain injury. And while I was getting healing, I had a lot of supernatural experiences. And one of the supernatural experiences I had was I was on the other side. Every time I would go to sleep, I'd go to the other side and I would look into the Akashic records, into these big books. And I would look and I would learn everything about everything. In fact, to the point where one day my mother said to me, she said, well, you know, my astrologer said I'm going to die at 80. And I said, no, I actually looked, Mom. No, you've got to 85. I'll never forget that. She died at 85. So what happened is they said to me on the other side, must have been my spirit guides. They said, I'm sorry, you can't come back, but we're going to give you a new system. I didn't know what they were talking about. The next day I went to the Bodhi tree. Remember the Bodhi tree?
Of course.
You know the Bodhi tree?
I wouldn't be here today without the Bodhi tree. That's right.
Clearly, me too. And I'll tell you what happened. Remember the bookshelves that were real high up?
I was there every weekend. You bet.
Well, one day, it was literally the next day, I was walking in the Bodhi tree and the cards of destiny fell off from the top all the way, almost hit me. And I picked it up.
To the right, when you walk at the door, you go to the right, and they were up on that top shelf.
Exactly. And it fell down, and I looked at it and I said, oh, I guess this is what they're talking about. So the system is really interesting. It's called the Book of Destiny. And sometimes it's referred to as destiny cards. Sometimes it's called the Book of Life, which is the way I view it. The mystic cards, the science of the cards. And it's said to have been kept secret for centuries. And apparently its existence was before Egypt. It was in ancient Egypt. And some people go back as far as 20,000 years with it. So I thought that was a really interesting system. But I'm going to explain what the system is. The system, so it uses playing cards, but really it's based on numerology. It's based on astrology, my favorites, and it's based on spirituality, because in our work, in the work that James and I do, and spiritualism, we believe that you choose your birth date before you incarnate. So it will teach you all the things you need to know. So no matter what your birth date is, we're going to figure out why you incarnated. And it's so interesting to me. But it's also based on the suits. So we can talk about hearts, and hearts come in spring. Hearts relate to spring. Clubs, which relate to summer. Diamonds that relate to fall. And spades that relate to winter. But I'll go into all of this in a little more detail of it. But do you have any questions so far, James?
No, I have. Robert Lee Camp was the one who kind of brought them to the forefront.
He did. He brought it to the forefront in the 90s. He definitely did. Robert Camp, and Robert Lee Camp has a wonderful website called Seven Thunders.com. Seven, the number seven.
Company he has, Seven Thunder Publishing.
Oh, is that it? Yeah.
Publishing company, yeah, and nice guy, and he used them a lot. Just read here that they represent personality archetypes, symbols of our personal expression that reflect with amazing accuracy what the important elements of our life will be. When you study the meaning and significance of your birth card, you will have some invaluable knowledge about yourself. You'll understand what your natural gifts really are, what sort of work will bring the most satisfaction, and how you interact with others in personal relationships. What are the biggest challenges you are facing this lifetime, and how you can get the most from your life by using the energies that come easily and naturally to you. I agree with that.
I agree with that too. I think that the information that I get from them are just amazing for people. This is all about know thyself.
And Kellee, Olney Richmond, a leader of the Order of Magi, brought the destiny cards to the Western world in the late 19th century in 1894, and they talk about that. So,
oh yeah, it's just amazing. And if we it's all when we go to numerology too. It's so interesting because there are 4 suits, and each suit has 13 cards, and that totals 52. There are 52 weeks in a year. And if you add 5 plus 2 for 52, you get 7, and there are 7 days in a week. And so we can use these cards for prediction, even for the day of somebody.
And what about, Kellee, the Joker?
So let's talk about the Joker. So it's 364 days of cards plus the Joker that makes it 365. So the Joker is a tough one. When somebody was born on December 31st, I have to look at it as the soul wasn't sure what they wanted to do, because the lower side of that is the Ace of Hearts, and the high side, very high side, is the King of Spades on January 1st. So I have to kind of look at the person, work with the person, and figure out where they are with that. Often I find, you know how souls, we always talk about souls, James, that plan so much when they come in. Often I figure that a Jack of the Joker hasn't really planned much, and they kind of wanted to free fall it.
Yeah, it happens. They jump in, they never feel they're in line, they never feel they're in sync.
That's exactly right. They don't usually. Yeah. So then for that person, I usually go straight into a psychic reading, or I'll look at the numerology or something, or all of the combined. But that's a tougher birth date, actually. Some have incredible lives, and some have really challenging lives.
And for people that want to know what their card is, there's a
well, we have a thing. Here you go. Renee, can you post this? It's also on our website at Both Sides Now. Oh, on Facebook, on Both Sides Now.
There you go.
On Facebook and on My Spiritual Medium. And if you look up at top, you'll see all the months, January, February, March, and you'll see all of that up at top, going to left to right. And then if you look down for your birthday on the left-hand side, you will see the birth dates, 1, 2, 3, whatever your birthday. So let's say you were February 3rd. You would go to February, and then you would go down to the 3rd, and you would see that you are a 9 of spades. Very tough. Very tough one.
Then you look up that, but that means that there's a birth card, right? And then there's a destiny card. There's a
there's a rising card. Your birth card is the rising is like your astrological rising. So it's how you are out in the world. It's how you are out in the world.
How do you find that out, Kellee?
Well, it takes a little more. I have to go into the book, and for this purpose, I thought we'll just look at our birth card. And I thought I'll tell you a little bit about what each one means. So if you hear James and I talk about a heart, if you hear us say that you are a Ace of Hearts, or a 2 of Hearts, or 3 of Hearts, or whatever it happens to be, hearts relate to the emotional realm. It's art, it's beauty, it's family, it's often sensuality. Hearts are emotion. So if you deal with somebody who's a heart, I automatically know that they're going to be sensitive, that they're going to have lessons about emotions. And often I find, James, that they're the younger of the souls that come here.
Interesting.
We call those at their spring almost, but they're a little younger. Do you know what I mean?
Heart would be spring, wouldn't it? The heart,
is spring. So I always thought that was so interesting. Now you're going to hear me talk about clubs. So, and clubs go, and all the cards go for 13. So 1, 2, 3, ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then jack, queen, and king. And that would be 11, 12, 13. Jack, queen, king. So when we talk about clubs, obviously I'm a club and James is a club. James is a 3 a club. I'm a 4 a club. We're like peas together in a row. And clubs are here to communicate. They're often very intelligent. They have education. They like to communicate. They like to teach. And they're highly intuitive. The most mediums that I see are clubs. I just do. I just see that. Now,
Wow.
interesting enough, James, you are a 3 of clubs, which also means to not only the psychic, it means the psychic writer.
I know you told me that before.
I've
It's
told you
amazing.
that. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you something else that's I find kind of extraordinary is also Sylvia Brown and John Edwards, 3 of clubs.
Really? Wow.
But they're not August 23rd like you. They were October 19th, I
October.
believe. Yeah.
Right.
So again, per each card, if you were born in a certain month, you're going to have astrologically those tendencies as well. So this shows a good picture of it. So clubs relate to teaching and mental intelligence and all that. Diamonds. So if you hear me say you're a 5 of diamonds or you're a 10 of diamonds or a diamond, diamonds relate to value. So what is something worth is often on the low end, it often is money. On the low end, it's often money. But if you really think about it, it's really they're here to balance material and spiritual. They're here to balance that. And that would be what we would call in the fall, like fall diamonds are in the fall. And they're often about
Balance the spiritual and the, what did you say?
spiritual and material pursuits.
And
You have to kind
material.
of balance both.
Down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if they get too much out of it, you can take them down a bad road.
Okay.
So now spades. So when somebody is a spade, that is in the winter. And you'll hear me say this a lot. If you were born between January 1st and January 13th, that's a rough karmic path because spades are serious. They come to learn and not even learn. It's like they already know spirituality. They just have to do the work. They don't get a break. Spades people don't get a break. They have this huge determination, and they always have to they have the swiftest karma, so they have to make the best choices ever. They really are here to learn, spades, in a big way. So spades, every time I find somebody who's a spade, I have a lot of empathy for that. So
now let me ask you this. So
okay.
these different clubs here, different suits, I should say. Would you put? Doesn't necessarily mean putting two together, like a heart and a diamond, or a clubs and a spade. Is that
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, depending on, and somebody asked me a great question too. They said, not only, is this good for finding your birth card, but it's also great to find a special, let's say you were going to get married, a special day, or let's say a special event was going to occur. Yeah. So I also look for special dates for that too. So that helps as well. And thanks, Renee, for putting this down again. So I thought what I would do is kind of go over from ace to king and tell you a little bit about what that means, if that
okay?
works for you. Okay, so if somebody comes to me and they are an ace, and I don't care if they're an ace of hearts, ace of diamonds, ace of clubs, or ace of spades, I mean, I can differentiate them, but an ace comes because they're very individual. They come with new ideas. They're fiercely independent. So when I know somebody that comes to me as an ace, say an ace of spades, that's a tough one. Ace of spades comes in because they actually have to balance the mundane world and the spiritual world. Ace of spades is one of the deeper karmic. It means that you would have had some experiences in previous lives, and in this life, you were really going to have a deep, as you called it the other day, James, you called it a big adult life. So it's like, yep, that's about it for an ace of spades. It's a tough one. But Ace of Hearts, if we look at Ace of Hearts, there's only one birthday that's an Ace of Hearts, and that's December 30th. So if you were born on December 30th, I have two friends that were born on December 30th. It's an Ace of Hearts. Tiger Woods was born on December 30th. I always find that they're the newer people on the block to come here in life because they're learning about emotions. And if you look at Tiger Woods, he had a lot to learn,
Sure.
and a lot to demonstrate and a lot to show. So I always thought that was so interesting. Ace of Clubs comes because they want to learn everything about everything. So when Ace of Clubs comes in, they're the ones that will have 5 different jobs in 5 years. And they'll say, gosh, I can't seem to keep a job. And I say, well, because you weren't supposed to. You're here to learn. You're here to learn through different jobs and different areas and different knowledge. They'll say, oh, thank you for sharing that with me. I thought something was wrong with me. I'm like, no, nothing's wrong with you. This is exactly what it was supposed to be. And Ace of Diamonds. Ace of Diamonds, rough. It's not an easy one. It's either for love or for money. And it's difficult for somebody to get both. Every once in a while, I'll find an Ace of Diamonds that has it both. But they often have lots of jobs in either banking, lawyer, finance, business. They're tough. So the twos are the most, you'll find this fascinating, James, fear-based.
Really interesting.
Mostly fear-based. If you think about it, a 2 comes in to couple up with somebody, and they come into couple. And if they're not in a couple, they can have a lot of fear. Often I'll say to them, oh, you came in with a lot of fear. And they'll say, yes, I do. And I'll say, let me guess, the first one, fear of death. Oh, terrified. How about fear of airplanes? Oh, terrible. It goes on and on and on with 2s until they can recover from fear.
Wow.
And realize I always say your quote with them, it's fear or love.
Wow.
I think that really helps a lot, for fears, but they come in for partnership. A 2 of Spades has a more challenged of all the 2s because they have a hard time with not being in a relationship, and they're so here to be in a relationship. So some 2s have some trouble with that. So a 3s, now you're a 3 of clubs. So 3s come in for artistic, creative. They come to create. You'll find a 3, they do more than one thing. They have to do this and that, and this and that. And a 3 of clubs, James, can do business and intuition. The funny thing about that is this, as you would have known this, you would have come in and said, you're like the show me state. I don't believe it till I see it. Like the 3 of clubs has to be, and they're the most gifted psychically that they have out there. Really, really. There's a lot of, your mind would race. There'd be a lot of racing because if you're not creating, you have to worry about creating something unless you're creating.
Very true.
So, but they have the best imagination too. They're just amazing. Just great 3s.
Thanks, Cal.
You're welcome. 3 of Hearts. I just want to throw this out to my dear friend Linda, who's a 3 of Hearts. And Linda, if you're watching, 3 of Hearts is they're the biggest empaths, because they have a big heart and a heart, and they're the young in this young souls on some level. So anyway, and 4s. So I'm a 4 of clubs. So 4s come in with. I have to say this.
I can't wait to hear this one.
Okay, you're going to love this. Stable, secure, practical, grounded, and they can be fixed and stubborn. 100%.
Really? You think you are?
No, I don't, but I think I've had to work on it. But when I get something stuck in my mind, I'm just going to go for it.
Since I've known you, you've opened up a lot. Since I first met you to today, when I first met you, you were like, psychotherapist, gotta do that. I said, no, you're a medium. Psychotherapy. And you were really kind of.
No, that's true. It's true.
It's true.
That's very true. Oh my gosh. So
I just said that. Are you sorry? I'm back.
Okay,
no,
so.
That, Kelly, but it's not going to happen.
Oh yeah. No, he told me that. He goes, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to do this. Very clear about that. So 5s are adventure. They're travel. They're fun. They're energetic. They touch many lives. They can be restless. They can be impulsive. Fives often work on self-esteem.
Huh.
For some reason, self-esteem seems to be a big one. But five of diamonds, I do want to say this. Whenever I know somebody's a five of diamonds, they're always surrounded by angels. And the only thing I could think of is because they've taken on a life of having to really learn about their self-esteem. There's something about that. But interesting enough, Chris Rock, five of spades. So five of spades is fearless. That's why he could do what he did. They're actually fearless. And we'll talk about Will Smith, who's a queen of hearts. We'll get there. But anyway, fives are really interesting. They always come for change. So when somebody comes to see me and they're a five, I know that they're going to have a lot of change in their life. I'll say, are you used to change? Yeah, I'm used to it. I don't like it, but I'm used to it. Five of spades usually thrives on it, though. It's interesting. So let's talk about the sixes. So if you are a six is all about balancing karma, always balancing karma. It's you sow what you reap. What are you giving out? What are you taking in? Yeah, here we go. Thanks again for the chart. Again, if everybody gets a chance.
What's your birth chart?
Yeah,
Wow.
you can look at that. So sixes are all about karma. Six of hearts always will come in for family. They'll always have some family issues that they'll have to deal with in balancing. And if you are a six of clubs, you're very psychic. You will totally disagree that you're psychic, but you are, and you're here to speak your own truth. If you are a six of diamonds, who I love six of diamonds. They come also for balancing a lot of karma, but for financial. See how I said the diamond?
Diamonds are a lot of financial, aren't they?
Financial, until they can get over that piece, they always have to pay back what they owe in this life. And so six of diamonds, and every card has a positive and a negative side.
Sure.
And every card comes in to learn something, but six of diamonds always has a piece of them that feels that they are going to be abandoned. We call this the abandonment wound. And whenever I see a six of diamonds, it's amazing how accurate that is with that. And then there's the six of spades. Like, so for instance, if you were born on April 2nd, you're a six of spades. Six of spades is the artists of the world. They're artists, they're actors, they're musicians, they're artists. And there a lot of karma with that. A lot. So if you ask me the most difficult life path, James,
yeah,
there's a few. Well, first, believe it or not, the first one that comes to my mind that I think is the most challenging is a three of diamonds, because three of diamonds would have come in for dealing with a lot of karma where they maybe had been abusive in a previous life. And so in this lifetime, they come in to learn humility. I have seen billionaires with this. It's the wildest thing, but then they'd have to learn to be able to give out money or to be healing for helping others, Yeah, it's a big one, that three of diamonds. Another really rough one, and when we get to the nines, we'll talk about nine of spades. That's a tough one too. But anyway, so the sixes, you really want to balance your karma on six. So let's talk about the sevens. Okay, sevens are spirituality. So sevens, what I find, they always have to overcome negative thoughts.
Really?
Negative thoughts. Okay. Yes. They can tend to be pessimistic. Really? They tend to be, they don't have to be. That's on the low side. But to get them up to a higher side, often they'll do, I've seen a lot of sevens drink a lot, do a lot of pot, drugs. They're here to really understand spirituality.
Okay.
And that's if we can get them there. Often we can. And the eights are here for power. They really come to experience power. So eight of hearts, a lot of psychologists that are eight of hearts. Eight of hearts has to do with emotional power. Okay, so that means you have quick karma on that. So if you abuse somebody, or if you give them wrong advice, or if you're manipulative, that's going to come back to you very quickly. Eight of hearts. They have to be very, very conscious of that. Eight of clubs. I love eight of clubs. Bless their hearts. They have racing minds, and they're the warriors of the world. and some of the most psychic people you will ever meet in your life. 8 of clubs. 8 of diamonds. You have to really, 8 of diamonds, again, a diamond, financial, doesn't have to be, it can be value. Some of the greatest souls ever can be 8 of diamonds if they're here on a spiritual journey. If they're not, they often can be highly narcissistic. So, you know, I have to see where they are with that. And 8 of spades, I always say 8 of spades were born to be CEOs. They come in with all of everything. So 8 of spades is really power. So let's talk about the 9s. The 9s are the card of completion. So if you are a 9, you've come to complete a soul cycle. So if you're a 9 of hearts, so let's go back, hearts or emotions, and you're a 9, that comes to complete this lifetime would be about learning and completing emotions. Be really important. Today, interesting enough, Will Smith was a 9 of hearts in Saturn, because I can actually go to the day to see what their card is for the day. Yesterday, I should say, when he was at the Academy Awards, he was a 9 of hearts in Saturn. Saturn's really hard, karma, and 9 of hearts, he comes to complete. He should have made a different choice, clearly, but it's good to talk about.
So that will create karma right away.
Right away. Tomorrow, James, Chris Rock is a Queen of Hearts, which is what Will Smith is. And Will Smith is a Jack of Hearts. So tomorrow they will be making up. Tomorrow there'll be sacrifice of making up.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So anyway, so 9s are here to complete. 9 of diamonds. Let's talk about 9 of diamonds. 9 of diamonds, again, financial. 9 of diamonds. They can be the greatest of spiritual people. They just have to, once they get over that value, the value system has to be right for 9s. And that's what they've come to learn in this life to complete. And then there's the 9 of spades that has really, I always call 9 of spades, this is my last lifetime, because they would have been born in the middle of the ocean. I mean, deep, deep, deep. That's the second hardest, I believe, life path that there is. And when I know somebody, like for instance, if you were born on March 1st, that's a 9 of spades. Really not an easy one at all. There's not any lifetime that's all that easy. Any card, right? I mean, there's just none.
Learning, sure.
So let's say you're a 10. If you are a 10, 10s are career oriented. They're independent. They come to learn about themselves. So whenever I see a 10, I know that they are on a mission to learn about themselves in this lifetime. What are they going to learn? We're going to find out. 10 of hearts would come to experience emotions. 10 of clubs would be, 10 of clubs comes to inhale information, if you will. Just like a 9 of clubs, they come to inhale information. Our friends that are 10 of clubs, that we know a lot of them, James, that they have a brain that has a brain, because the brain never shuts off. But they're so psychic. They're often artists, singers. I mean, famous people come with this placement, 10 of clubs. And 10 of diamonds, we call this the blessed card. It doesn't mean that you have it easy. You don't. But there's a lot of blessings that come with this, a lot of financial blessings that come with this. A lot of good things come with the 10 of clubs, I have to say. And then there's the 10 of spades. Spades come to work. So anytime, again, you hear me say the word spades, they're the workers of the world. So 10 of spades comes to work really, really hard in this life. So now we're going to go to the jacks. You want to hear something really interesting?
Yes.
So the United States on July 4th is a Jack of diamonds.
Yes.
Valentine's Day is a Jack of diamonds.
Oh, how funny.
Is that odd?
That's very strange.
Both of my divorces were final on Jack of Diamonds Day on Valentine's Day.
It'd be amazing, isn't it?
I thought so, yeah. I had to have planned that one. But Jacks bring youthfulness. They bring a lot of creativity. And in fact, yesterday, Chris Rock was a Jack of Diamonds. So Jack of Diamonds, they're youthful. They bring it out.
When you say it was a Jack of Diamonds, I mean, each day it changes?
Every day it changes. Every day you have a different card for the day. You have a natal chart, but every day is different.
So if your birth card is
Mhm.
one thing, and
Yes.
then the day of is something different,
Right.
how does that work out?
Well, I'd have to look it up to see what card everybody is for that day.
So
Um,
would the birth be more influential than the date, or both?
they both come in. They both
Okay.
are very influential. Great question, but they're both influential, actually. And I should say this too, that whatever day you were born on is your Mercury day. So I was born on a Friday. So every
I was born on a
Friday,
Saturday.
you're Saturday. So your Mercury day starts on Saturday. That's Mercury. Then on Sunday for you would be Venus. So it'd be a love day for you.
Yes.
Then on Monday would be a Mars day for you. A lot of energy, a lot of, a lot of go, 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 Mars. And then on Tuesday would be your Jupiter day. And Jupiter is fun, it's friendship, it's value. Wednesdays would be a harder day for you, James, because
I've
that's a
never liked
Saturn
Wednesdays.
day.
Never liked Wednesdays.
Saturn, that's why. Saturn. And
That's a
then,
really interesting. I'll tell you later. But the Saturday is and Wednesday is a very interesting day.
okay. Well, then, and Thursday,
Karmically for me.
karmically, fascinating. Then
Yeah.
Thursday for you would be Uranus day, a day of surprise.
Yeah.
And then Friday would be a Neptune day, the day you could just kind of take your shoes off, have a dreamy day, and
All right.
relax.
Wow.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah, very interesting.
So the thing about jacks is, if we go back to jacks, they can be on the downside crafty and immature. So that's a sign. It's sometimes they're so creative. Jack of Hearts comes to sacrifice. And whenever I see a Jack of Hearts, I always go, "Oh, you took a hard life," because there's a lot of sacrifice to your life. Jack of Clubs, our friend Lynn Probert, wonderful medium, Jack of Clubs. She's a Jack of Clubs, so that's a good one.
Yeah, she's crafty and
She's crafty.
useful and fun. Yeah,
Right?
she's very fun.
And a Jack of Spades has to take a spiritual path, because they're initiating into this life is like an initiation into a deeply spiritual path, and so they cannot go left. They have to go straight ahead. That's the Jack of Spades. So let's talk about queens, and we're going to talk about queens and kings. Something very interesting here. If I have, like, for instance, Will Smith. He is a queen of hearts, but he's a man. So that means he thinks like a female, and hearts are very emotional, and he's a queen of hearts. And queen of hearts has this problem with being a savior. They have a problem with it. And so I think that's what happened to him yesterday. It's like a victim savior kind of thing. They also are very codependent. And at that exact moment, I'm sure he was feeling overwhelmed or something. And well, we saw what happened. We saw what happened. So I thought that was interesting. But Queen of Clubs. Let's talk about queens. So queens are here because they have a service to humanity. So if you're a queen, you rule with power. If you are a queen of clubs, you probably know every single thing about everything medical. You should be a medical intuitive, or you should be a chef, or you should be telling
Really?
somebody what to do. Yeah, because
Really?
queen of clubs will tell you exactly what to do. Yeah. Often they're correct. So I always have to stop them and go, "Oh yeah, I think she's right." Queen of Diamonds. If you're a queen of diamonds, it's often one of the more difficult life paths, because you would have had a mother that would have been really rough. And so you come to learn value kind of the hard way. It's a tough placement, the Queen of Diamonds. However, extremely creative. Wow. Super, super creative. There's always something positive. Believe me, something positive. Now, if you're a king, kings, let's talk about that. They come in for power and leadership. And they can be, on the negative side, very arrogant. So we talk about King of Hearts, that's a man or female that comes in to be a father figure. Doesn't mean that they have to have their own children, but a father figure, or they have to take care of children, or they have to help and teach others through a very valuable lesson with emotions. So King of Hearts is very important.
That's
King
very
of
interesting.
very right. Oh,
I know is exactly going through that. Exactly, 100%.
wow. Okay, so King of Clubs. If you're King of Clubs, you want to inhale information. You've already written 4 books. You want to have 3 PhDs. I mean, they are the go-getters intellectually. They know a lot about a lot of things. King of Diamonds. Now, our dear friend Shirley, Dr. Shirley, King of Diamonds. King of Diamonds, very powerful. She's a female with a very powerhouse brain. The problem with the King of Diamonds is we call it the, one eye. They only see things the way they want to see it. And in a relationship, you have to see it. Oh, you can't put on rose-colored glasses. So it will always trip you up.
And diamonds are about value too. So King of
Yes.
Diamonds would be about a value, I would think.
Oh, yeah. And I've seen some, CEOs with this that are fabulous. And I've seen some CEOs that are horrific.
Okay.
Again, wherever they are in their learning. And
But
then
they know about value. They like value, like nice things. They tend to like nice
yes,
things.
absolutely they do. Absolutely. And then there's the King of Spades. And the King of Spades, there's only one birth date for that, and that is January 1st. And whenever I see that, it's more rare than you think. And I know that person has had a really challenged life. However, they are here to overcome and ascend everything. So and they do. I've seen them do it. So it's really interesting.
Kellee, one more about the Joker. Can you mention that one more?
Oh, let's talk about the Joker again. That would be December 31st.
Right.
This system doesn't read it. If you are born on that day, what would happen is, and if you came to me, I would look at December 30th and January 1st. And then I would determine and help you determine where you fit into this. How mature are you? Often jokers come in because they want to experience kind of like their own way, their own path. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Okay.
Oh my God.
You can't read them. They're hard to read.
Yes.
They're hard to read for anybody, frankly. But and then there's some really interesting combinations of cards, and I just kind of want to mention this briefly. We call this there's the mystical family, and if you are let's say an ace of clubs, and you've heard me I talked about ace of clubs, they come in with a partner of a two of hearts, and it always appears to me that an ace of clubs always wants to connect with a soulmate. Like I'll hear the term, am I going to meet my soulmate? And I'll go, yada, 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 yada. But then ace of clubs, I go, oh, I get it. You really did come in to find that. And it's an interesting dynamic there. The other really interesting connection is a 9 of hearts and a 7 of diamonds. And they come in, and somebody wrote us an email, and they said to their children, one is a 9 of hearts and one is a 7 of diamonds. How lucky for them. That means they'll take care of each other forever and ever and ever. It's a beautiful connection. Beautiful. Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's a lot of information, Kellee.
A lot of information.
Yes, if you came up with this system, the answer is no.
Well, maybe I did 20,000 years ago. Who knows? Maybe I did.
It's been around about 20,000 years, everyone. So.
I know this. I worked on it for 20 years here, but probably a long time on that side.
Sure.
But what's really fun about this system is I do a year for people, and my yearly system, and I look at it for the full year, and I'll say, okay, this is a period. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen during this period. And it's really accurate. It's a wonderful system for this.
And Kellee, a couple of things people want to know, like butterfly kisses, healing. Do the cards come with a booklet of all your explanations?
Yes. Yeah. There's a Robert L. Camp sells a great book on it. But I'll tell you one.
You gave me one.
I gave you that, but here's another one that I love, and this is called The Cards of Destiny by Sharon Jeffers, and she doesn't get enough play. I think she's really, really wonderful, Sharon Jeffers, and you can go to her site and you can get her books, and it will tell you fully what you want to know. I mean, I think this stuff is so important because you know thyself is everything, and I think that if you get to know yourself. And here's the fun part. Then I get asked this every day, my partner is a 4 of hearts and I'm a 3 of diamonds. How does that work? And I actually compare and contrast to see how it works. And there are some connections that are super strong and then some that are just okay. Some always tell me that they always tell me this is a karmic situation. This is about love and marriage. This is about work. I mean, it's fascinating, fascinating.
Kelly, and a lot of people can get readings from you, in-depth card readings, right? They
Yes,
get
yeah,
destiny card readings with you. So,
yeah.
what types of readings do you do?
Well, what I do is I can do
I
compare and
think you cover
contrast.
everything,
I
probably.
cover everything basically in it. If it's a year long, I want to look at it. If it's a soul, if you come in for a soul destiny reading, then I'm going to talk to you about why your soul incarnated, and then we'll go from there. But I always love to do a chart for people because I like to see where they are in their life.
Right, and I found out, Kelly, when I was looking into this as well, and that, from just going online, because a lot of people are going to go online here, that there also are some people who have ripped off the idea of destiny cards and created their own type of thing, but it's not the same.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
you gotta be very, very careful that these
Oh,
are destiny cards, that the
yeah,
exact ones, but people do
yeah.
knockoffs. So you gotta be very careful when you look. I found that out this afternoon when I was looking through it,
Oh,
and
God, James,
yeah,
thanks for saying that.
yeah, it's really important that everybody pays attention to what they're getting, because the ones we're
Yeah.
recommending are really the ones that you should get, because
Right.
they're just
Well,
really
here's a great question. Tracy Hildreth. Hi, Tracy. And by the way, Tracy sent me a wonderful email, James, to both of us. And I want to say, Tracy, congratulations. She did something that was really, I thought, really amazing. And that was with you when you were talking about, when we were talking last week about unfinished business. And she
yes,
really wanted to come to some conclusion with her father. And she did. She had a
very
conversation
good.
at the best that she could with
Congratulations.
him. And
You
really,
know,
Tracy, I was very, very impressed.
that's a
So
big step.
it's a
Good, good.
big step. So Tracy says, are there commonality with card numbers and illnesses? Yes, there are. Like a two of spades having MS, fear-based, 100%, Tracy. Yes. So also when I do a chart, I look at somebody's Saturn, because Saturn is about work and health and death. You know what some of the predictors of death actually are: Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Neptune
that makes
too,
sense.
because
That makes
a lot of
sense.
addictions, a lot of overdose. If I see something like that in Neptune. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
anyway, nine of spades will show me an illness. Two of spades can show me an illness. Four of spades. Yeah, some of them can definitely. All
What's the
always
name of the
tend to be
what's the name
spades.
of the book again, Kelly? The name of the book again, please.
So this is called Cards of Destiny by Sharon Jeffers.
I'm gonna order that right after the show.
It's a
I
really
don't
good
have
one. And then she's got a second one that this is a great book, and this is called Love and Destiny. And what's so great about this is you put your partners, I don't care who it is, whatever partner you want, you put it in with yours, and it will tell you exactly what the two of you are here to do in this life. And she does
Wow.
this thing called the keys to the kingdom. So you want to get along with this person? Here's what you have to do. You want to get along with
Wow.
it? Here's what you have to do.
Cool.
Oh, it's fascinating. Fascinating.
Wow.
I
Wow.
know. I'm telling you. Um,
This book is $171 and worth it, I'm sure.
oh my God.
I think
Her books are that much now?
someone just said, yeah, Louise said, Jacob said that book is $171.
For Love and Destiny cards from Sharon Jeffers? Wow, I
Mhm.
must have really lucked out when I bought it. It was
That'll
$17 when I bought it. Oh my gosh. Well, get Robert Lee Camp's book. That's a great book too. Robert Lee
great
Camp's
book, Beverly
probably
Camp.
35 or $40. I can't remember now, but it's
Worth it. I have that book. It's really informative.
oh yeah. Let's see here. Okay, wait, this is interesting. Brandy Tapia. I have to read this because this is important. She says, I'm a female king of diamonds, which means she's a female, thinks like a male. And my husband is an ace of spades, and we're a good match. We've been together 26 years. Let me tell you why that's a good match. In order, if we go ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king, the next one is an ace, right? King of diamonds, what comes after that? Ace of spades. So those two together would be perfect.
Wow. That's
It's
very,
interesting, right?
very interesting.
Can
Wow.
you use a regular deck of playing cards? Of course, but these are not tarot. So let me just tell everybody, this is not tarot. This is an actual system that was set up with cards.
20,000 years ago.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
old system. So
Really old system. Yeah. So,
yeah.
wow.
Robert, yeah, there it is. It's the Robert Camp Cards of Destiny. It's on Amazon, right?
And James, you're doing the Hay House Healer Psychic Medium course.
I am. There you go. So today's the last day. What happened? They had a lot of people that was checking out the test to see if they were a psychic, a medium, or a healer, and somehow their site broke. So they put it back on for a day. So you can register now today. Go to that right there if you'd like to take the course. And everything's been recorded. And I did a live event last week. I'll do some more for that course. So if you're interested, please go there and register. Today's the last day. They're stopping at 12 o'clock tonight. They're stopping registration. We have over 58,000 people look it up. 58,000 people looked up to see if they're a psychic healer or medium.
What was the average? Do you know?
A lot of people were intuitive healers.
Okay.
And mediums a
Interesting.
third. Yeah. And then we're medium healers, not just mediums, which I'm under medium healer. I think you were in the medium.
I was medium psychic, but yeah.
Medium psychic.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was a medium healer, which makes sense to me. That's
Totally.
course. It's a really good course. It's a good general course for every, that resonates with you in all those different disciplines. And you can really get to see, feel, or experience things about yourself, perspectives of yourself you didn't know, perspectives about the world around you. So it changes, and it's good. It's a very good course. It's the third time they put it out. It's one of their most popular courses at Hay House. And they weren't meant to come out with it to the end of the year, but people wanted it so much that they pushed it to come out now. So take the experience if you'd like to. It's right there. And
Wow.
yeah, it's all around the world as well.
Wow. Okay.
And
This is great.
I told you guys say soul care. If you weren't there, this is my soul care. If you do not have your email registered on my website, I would appreciate you would, because Wednesday I'm starting a brand new website. So make sure that your email's on there. And I'm going to be doing some brand new events, really different type of events. I'm doing a lot of reading type events that you'd more than likely want to be in touch with, or I'm going to probably do every week do readings. So that's going to be, and it's going to go to the people that have an email list. So that's how we do it.
That's
So
going to
make
be
sure
great.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that'll
my
be great. Yeah, trying to do some new things and change things after COVID. Not traveling as much, so I'm doing stuff here in this office, or some workshops, actually, retreats I'm doing here in San Diego. And it's going to be a limited amount of people, and it's going to be something new for me and for them, and more intensive, if you will. So it's a good place to start. So
It would be a great thing to be able to be with you.
And thank you, Kellee, for your wisdom today in our meeting.
Oh.
We had Kellee for her advice, and Kellee was right on, and she gave me some great advice as I'll use. So thank you, Kellee.
Oh my God. Anytime. This
We do
was so
things together,
fun.
don't we? It's funny. We do things together a lot, don't we?
We do. And I have to say, next week we're going to be talking about, I can't believe I just spaced it. The difference between a vortex and
And a portal.
And a portal, which is going to be
So it's
really
different
interesting.
things. Vortex and a portal. So very interesting. I've had a lot of experiences with them, with both. And I know you have.
Perfect. I've had some, but you have had more.
Yeah, that's some wild stuff going on. Wow.
We have had some really interesting experiences.
Yeah. I've stepped into a couple of different things, and it's been, I'll tell you one about Sedona, Arizona, with Ron Oyer. You know my friend Ron.
I sure do.
And we went to check out this place in Sedona. We were going to do a retreat about UFOs, and I wanted to check it out firsthand. We went to an area I'll talk about next week, but we both stepped into another dimension.
Okay, Ron, I can't wait.
Through a portal. So I'll say all about that next week. That's a pretty good story. Ron, yeah, that's right.
Wait, Ron is a 3 of hearts, by the way.
Oh, is he really?
Yes.
Oh, God bless him.
And George, I forget what George. Oh, George, Carol, Ace of Diamonds. Oh, God. Perfect. Anyway, you guys, take care, everybody. Love you.
Thank you, Kellee. That was a great night.
So
Thanks for all your information. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Renee.
Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
See you next.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
That was great. Maybe we changed some lives.
And maybe opened up some minds.
Which way do I turn?
Right. I mean left.